The Retirement Café Podcast, episode 72. Life in my 90s. No, that's not me, but my next guest is in her 90s.
Retired or thinking about retirement? You've come to the right place. Welcome to the Retirement Café Podcast. In each episode, we bring you an important conversation with insight, tips and knowledge, all designed to help you live a fulfilling and successful life in retirement. Here's your host, Chartered Financial Planner and Accredited Later Life Advisor, Justin King.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Retirement Café Podcast, which is sponsored by the Timeline app. Timeline is retirement income planning software that helps financial planners like me bring your retirement journey to life and answer your big retirement income questions. This week, we continue with our series on longevity and retirement, but instead of hearing from an expert on the data, we're going to hear from the perspective of someone who is enjoying the benefits of our increased longevity. Here's my interview with my next door neighbour, Peggy. So I'm thoroughly excited to have travelled a huge distance today to my next door neighbour, Peggy, who is a wonderful lady who we've been neighbours for now over 10 years. And she's a great friend to us and our two young children, Olivia and Amy. And Peggy is a fantastic retiree who's in her 90s and still amazingly fit and able, and you do lots of stuff. So welcome to the Retirement Café Podcast, Peggy.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
You too.
Now, we are in the throes, aren't we, of this virus that is affecting us. How are you taking it?
Well, it's a bit frightening, I suppose, but now I've got, my son has been here and we've talked it through and that. And to be sensible, I think I can carry on, but naturally plenty of washing hands and that. But I still will do my walking every day, my gardening, my chatting, but with a distance. And I'm hoping that it won't be too bad.
Now, you've seen a lot in your life, Peggy. In
Yes.
90 odd years,
Yes.
I won't put the 90 odd years, you've seen an awful lot of things come past and go. Tell me about, how do you feel about this? This is the crisis of the day.
Oh dear, well, I never ever thought anything like that. Well, naturally we've got through all the other bird flus, flus, and I'm sure we'll get through this flu. I listen to so much of television, but that can be a little bit, frightening in that. And I think we'll all get through it. Of course we will.
We will.
And it will be carry on our life. I hope quite a few more years to go.
Yeah, so we hope as well. So Peggy, tell me a little bit about where did you grow up?
In Berkshire.
Right.
My father was a tenant farmer.
Yeah.
Quite poor, but hard-working. We all had our little jobs to do, went to school and that. Left school at, I think I was 14 and a half. But I certainly was in a job well before I was 15 and did an apprentice as a hairdresser and travelled on the train every day, quite a big thing for me to do from a little country girl. And then I met my husband through my brother. My brother was in the RAF and he was considered quite an oldie as he was 23 and my husband was just 18, I suppose, and he came in to see me and we started seeing each other and then he went abroad, so we had lots of writing.
Right.
And I was married quite young. Lovely country life. I don't think you can beat fresh air and your jobs to do and everything like that. And then I eventually got married. I was just about 20. And had twin boys, which was quite a shock. But they were lovely and always have been, yeah. Now they're grown now and leading good lives. And, I suppose that's how it is. And now I'm retired and one of the best things you can have are good neighbours. Wonderful neighbours. I have 2 lovely people one side, more my age, although I am a little bit older, and delightful couple the other side, and wonderful little girls. So it's a varied life, and you've got to keep to be like that and always look on the bright side.
Absolutely. So, Peggy, how long have you been retired?
Oh, my goodness. More than I've been working and wanting. I suppose 50 years.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But you can't ever, be down too much. I know we all have our ups and downs and things like that, but I always try to look the other side, and also talking to people. I like to be sociable, and that helps. It does help. And to get out really.
Yeah.
And I always had, I had rescue dogs, as you know, and they were wonderful, 4 beautiful boxers, and they got me out. And don't have them now, but I'm sometimes allowed my neighbour's beautiful spaniel, and he comes and keeps me company sometimes.
He does,
and
yes.
Cheers me up no end. Yeah. Yeah, but I think it is, just living on your own, good neighbours, get out and have a walk, and try to be, see other people, and that keeps you going.
So how long were you married for, Peggy?
Well, all in all, the 2 would have been nearly 60 years.
Wow. And with your first husband, you say he was in the RAF.
Yes.
Did you go abroad with him? Or
Not in the RAF.
No.
But when he came out, yes, we lived in Aden for, I think it was getting on for 7 years.
Wow.
And then he went to Antigua.
So what years were this? Can you remember?
Oh, I think we went out to, it would have been after the war, so would have been in the late 40s, around
40s.
50.
Right.
Yeah, I think we came back in 1967.
Okay.
We came back because the boys went to school out in Aden.
Right.
And then they had to come back after the 11 plus, and they went to a very good grammar school. Yeah.
And where were you living then when you came back from Antigua?
At Sandhurst.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Sandhurst. All lovely. Anywhere down here, the coast or not far from the coast is lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love, now I love Dorset.
So how did you end up in Dorset then?
Well, after I met my second husband, he lived here. So I moved then from, we'd been abroad in Sandhurst and then coming back here. Then he came from, he came down here, I think in the war or something, and they lived in Bournemouth. So naturally he wanted to, and he worked in this area. But it's a lovely area, isn't it?
It certainly is. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. We so love it. And I so love the Isle of Wight. We always go there twice a year. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned you do a number of things keeping busy, gardening and seeing neighbours and all the rest of it. And I know there's a lady you go round and see every so often.
Dog? 100. I mean, I'm a child. I'm very much young. Yes, she will be in May. Still gardens and still does her own cooking. And, Elsie, she's a lovely, lovely lady. She's got a lovely garden and, very always bright and cheerful. And I think, if I can be like her, you've done well. She's done so well. Yeah. Then another lady I still meet every Sunday, one of my dog walking days, and that's always nice. Keep up with people. Yeah.
So you lost your second husband to cancer a few years ago, didn't you? And I knew Jeff quite well. And so how has that been? Living on your own in your retirement, has that been significantly different for you?
Yeah, very different, because we did everything together, and we liked the same things, and walking and holidays and all that. Yes, it's a big change to your life. But you have to make it.
Sure.
You have to do it.
And what are the positive things that you think you've done then since that happened?
I don't know. I think it is just keeping up with doing everything and not dropping anything. I think you've got to keep going out for a walk or and I still exercise.
Yes, tell me a bit more about that. What exercise do you do?
Oh, it's only about 10 minutes. Only Jeff was very much into exercising and keeping fit and everything. Oh, I do a few sit-ups.
He had a gym at one time, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Down at the Lansdowne.
Yeah.
And he taught, yes. And of course we used to go water skiing.
You did go water skiing. You were water skiing until your 70s, weren't you?
Yes, we did, yes. That's a wonder we didn't have a crowd watching. No, we enjoyed that. And I do think that any kind of sport is so good for you because, it keeps your body toned and you can keep on going, yeah.
So, as you kind of look back on your life, is there any things that you regret that you didn't see or you didn't do or you still want to do?
Luckily, no, I don't think so. I've seen a lot of the world with my first husband, and my second we went on holidays more, things like that. No, I don't think I have any regrets. No.
Brilliant.
Lovely.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
And so, what are your plans for the future then, Peggy? What do you hope to do this year?
Well, nothing more really to do, just to go along as I am. I hope my neighbours never move, and I hope the troubles at the moment get solved and over. Just to carry on the same, and just to go out in the garden one day and sit down, and that's it.
Fantastic.
And just go to sleep, yeah. No, I'm quite happy with it. But the main thing is good health.
Yes.
As long as I can keep walking, just walking is wonderful. And meeting, having a chat here and there. I think I've done all that I want to.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And so, if some people face retirement with a bit of trepidation.
Yes,
it's a big change.
It is.
What would your advice to your younger self be?
Oh goodness, it is very, very different to having a job and going out and then all of a sudden you're lucky if you can keep your partner, of course, but when you keep that one as well. I just think that you've got to make the best of life and just keep walking.
Yeah, definitely.
It brings in so much to, I love to go. Not to be in too much. If you can, I'm just lucky. I am so lucky that I've been able to keep my legs going and walking.
Yeah.
I just love to.
Yeah.
And this love, look at today. Who wants more?
Stunning. Well, we've both separately been down to the beach today, haven't we?
Yes.
And enjoyed that space and time.
Yes, I think it's to be able to live in this part of the world, just along here. There's no better place than along here. Really, no, loved it. Always have done, and I just hope to just carry on like I am, so...
Yeah. And you still see your family quite a lot?
Yes, luckily. I have twin boys, and one has just gone back to Peterborough, and he will ring me every morning. And my other son is in Spain at the moment, and he will ring me every evening.
Wonderful.
Yes. And then I have a sister who's 95.
You do, of course.
That.
How is she doing?
She'll be down, we're hoping, this week.
Wow.
See how things go. And we get on well.
You do.
She's getting a bit slower, but I have to jolly her along. And we'll walk up to Elsie. That's halfway up the side road there, Isle of Man. And if she's in a really good spirit, she can get to the top, and you can say, and you see the world go by. You
can.
Really do. And so many people are so nice, and they chat or say hello, and lots of dogs and that. Yeah, life's good, really.
Brilliant,
still.
brilliant. Now, I understand that your son and daughter-in-law have got enough provisions in for you to last till...
6 months. Yes. And they'll be down in 3 weeks.
Well, maybe they won't, who knows.
Oh dear. Yes, you do get perhaps not quite such a big appetite, but I still enjoy my food. Yeah. Still enjoy my food.
Well, you need to eat well to keep all this exercise up.
Yes. Oh dear, yeah. But I think, if you've got good health, that's the main thing.
And so, Peggy, one of the other things I'm interested in, I mean, to live over 90 years, you've seen, you've seen everything.
Yeah.
The transitions that you must now, what do you make of it all? Yes.
Sometimes it's going too fast and I don't understand any of the music of today and a lot of what they're talking about. But I think, looking at it all, though, I think that I had the best times. I suppose every generation thinks that, maybe. But I have nothing to worry. I don't know where it's going. No. I can't tell you that one. No. I feel that I'm sure it'll be all good for you, though. Young man like you. You've got it all to come.
For the listeners, I just turned 50, so I might be a little younger than Peggy, but I'm definitely not a young man. But it's all relative, I suppose.
And he looks wonderful. Keeps me going. A glimpse of my neighbour every day.
So, what would be the biggest shift then, do you think, when you look back in your kind of life? The biggest change, from growing up in the 30s and 40s. When were you born, Peggy?
1928.
1928, amazing. I mean, you've seen everything. So
the good and the bad,
through World War II.
Yeah.
What do you remember of that?
Not an awful lot. I was just leaving school then, and I was starting my apprenticeship in Reading. Yeah. And I remember there was about 4 or 5 bombs, and that was pretty scary. And of course, all the rationing was on. But luckily, living on a farm, we were able to have a bit extra, I think. Yes, that was a bit frightening, because at that age you're just a teenager. And I was a bit green, a country girl. Not like your two bright young ladies, but yes, that was a scary time. Changes, yes. I can't really say. The shops today and all the gadgets and all the technology and computers I don't know a thing about and don't want to. That's a big change, isn't it?
It is.
It is. It must be wonderful for you to think that you can do all your business at home and not even, or abroad or wherever you go, and not have to go to your office.
Yes.
Think about that.
It is quite amazing.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Well, it is for me.
No, it's unbelievable for me. I still grew up in the world when there wasn't an internet. And I've seen the whole progress of that, and I find that quite astonishing, really.
The thing is, you see, as you're young and growing older, your brain is growing and getting, you understand it all. But when you get to about 70 or so, it starts, that's it, and it's going back.
Well, you must have been unbelievably clever, Peggy, in your 70s, because you're still brighter than a button now. You may not be into computers, but you're still fully aware of everything that's going on.
I almost need a picture of what's to be today. Yes, it's it's much more complicated, but I don't take any notice of it.
No.
That's not for me.
And you can live as simply as you wish, can't you?
So the simpler the better, really. You know, as long as it's just simple and good vegetables to eat, lovely vegetables. Oh, yes, I remember all those on the farm. And they taste so lovely out of the garden. We all had jobs, you know, when we came home from school and that. And, yes, the simple life is good. They always want more and more, and to go abroad. Well, there is a lot to see abroad, of course. I don't condemn that. I've been, and it is a lot. But, to come back here, it's lovely.
Yes.
Yeah.
To appreciate what you've got.
Oh, yes, I do. I do now, yeah. And I'm so lucky that I don't want anything. There's nothing I need. And isn't that wonderful? I have a good family and wonderful neighbours. So, I mean, yes, I'm content. Yeah.
Brilliant,
yeah.
brilliant. Well, it's an absolute pleasure being a neighbour of yours, Peggy.
Oh.
And thank you so much for joining us today on the Retirement Café podcast. It's been fantastic hearing all about your life and your life in retirement. So I wish you many, many more years to come. And thank you once again.
Oh, thank you, Justin. It's been lovely.
If you've enjoyed my chat with Peggy and would like to hear more episodes of this series on longevity and retirement, head to the show notes for this episode, number 72. You'll find that on our website at retirementcafe.co.uk, where you'll also find some useful links. I want to give a special mention to Mary Dixon, a criminal defence solicitor who took the time to write a wonderful review for the podcast. Mary wrote, "I have come late to the cafe, but I have managed to find a seat and get myself a coffee and catch up with the earlier episodes. I was initially wary as I thought it would be perhaps too financially based, but I'm absolutely loving it. I shall retire at the end of this year at 66. I'm a criminal defence solicitor working for a small practice, and there is no retirement planning in these types of organisations, so I'm having to research all aspects myself. As you brilliantly show, retirement is so much more than financial. I've particularly enjoyed the episodes about mindset and attitudes. Your choice of really excellent speakers is the key to the success of the podcast. They have, without exception, been able to talk on their subject with clarity, honesty, and really catch one's attention. You've also challenged my long-held determination to be cremated. Ken West was fantastic, and as there is a natural burial ground about a mile from me, I intend to visit it and probably revise my plans. There is a need to educate about retirement, and I can honestly tell you that your podcast has given me so many ideas and furthered my knowledge. So I am planning a fulfilling and fun transition into the next few years. Many thanks and very kind regards, Mary Dixon." So real big thank you to Mary to take the time to do that review for us. If you're enjoying the podcast, please do leave us a review on iTunes so more people like you can find us. And if you've not yet subscribed, then head to our website or your preferred podcast player, as you don't want to miss next week's episode. I am joined next week by advertising legend and author Rory Sutherland from Ogilvy, whose TED Talks have been viewed 7 million times. It's a truly fascinating conversation where we discuss why the best ideas don't make rational sense and how to embrace the illogical. Thanks once again to Timeline App for sponsoring the podcast, and until next time, this is Justin King helping you feel more informed in your retirement.
Thank you for listening to the Retirement Café podcast with Justin King. To find out more, you can find us online at theretirementcafe.co.uk.